guys, I just wanted to really quickly come on here and film this intro before Maris comes home. So this is actually the video that I'm going to film in tomorrow, but I wanted to do the intro right now. So I'm going to do some DIY stuff. So I'm going to spray paint a few things rose gold, and I'm going to cover my desk with a marble print. And I'm super excited to do this, and hopefully this will just turn out great when I'm done. And if not, it was fun to do, I'm sure. So I hope you enjoy the video.
Okay, so I actually asked Marius to help me with some of the spray painting. So we just used a gray primer as long as the copper or rose gold color. So we just sprayed the candle holders with a layer of primer, and then we let that dry. And after that, we ended up painting it with the rose gold color. So we did, I think, a couple of coats of the rose gold. Decided to let it dry outside because of the smell, but then that didn't work very well, so we had to move it inside because it was too cold. And there was some triangles left on the side, but Mary thought it looked cool, so they stayed on there. But we just put some felt stickers on the bottom so that they wouldn't scratch on the table. So the pack that I got had two sizes. It had some bigger ones and some really small ones, so I just used the big one on the tray and then the smaller ones on the tinier candle holders. And then I just cleaned off my desk. And wiped it clean with some kitchen spray and a cloth. And I tried to really thoroughly clean the table just because I know that dust and stuff can make the contact paper not stick as well. So after I cleaned it, I actually wiped it off with some paper towels just to make sure that it was really dry. And my table is like a folding table, so when I started, I just folded the table down, and I started with the smaller part, which is right by the wall. And I just wiped up the edge, and then this is the foil that I'm using. It is from Bauhaus, which is a German store. So I just measured out the length that I needed, and I cut it off so that I would have some excess on all sides to cover the corners and everything like that. So I just used a scissor, and I used the guide on the back to cut. And then I just put it on to make sure again that it was the right size, and started peeling off. So I just peeled off a little bit at a time, and then I aligned it to the table so that it would be straight against the wall, and then I just used a card to flatten it out to avoid any air bubbles. And the small part was actually really easy, and then I just folded the corners down with my hands. And then I just used a scissor, and I cut a triangle on the corners to make it easier to fold it down. And then I just folded the last piece under the table. And then for the long side, I just used the card to cut it down, and then I used an X-Acto knife to cut off the excess. And for the corner, I just took a pair of scissors and just snipped off whatever was left. And then for the bigger part of the table, I did pretty much the exact same thing. I just measured out the contact paper and cut off the right amount. And then I started peeling off at one corner and carefully used the card to press out any air bubbles and put it smoothly onto the desk. And for this, I pulled off the contact paper on the long side first, and that was just to make it easier to align with the edge. So I just took the card and I smoothed it down, and then I carefully pulled off the paper off the contact paper. And yeah, I just carefully worked my way down, and I did get some air bubbles here and there, and I also got a couple of like dents or whatever to call it, but I got more than one, so it doesn't look that bad. It looks like it might be supposed to be there. And it's really nice when you work with contact paper, because if you need to, you can actually just lift the paper up and start over, which I had to do in some places. And then again, for the corners, I just cut a triangle off the end, folded it down, and then I folded the first piece under the other piece to make it as seamless as possible. Then I just try to smooth out the small areas a little bit more, and this is actually what it looks like when the desk is all finished. And I think it looks really good, so I just attached back on the lamps and put everything back onto the desk. And there you can see one of the other candle holders, which is so gorgeous. And I just placed on all the other candles, and I had some other stuff too, which is not necessarily decor, but it's just my laptop and a charger and some headphones and my mouse that I don't really use that often, but it's nice to have nearby. And I also put my my camera's charger on there. And then I just put the rose gold pretty things onto the table, and I arranged all my candles on top of it. So these are actually the Advent candles, and today is the second Sunday of Advent, so I just lit 2 of the candles today.
Yeah, so that was pretty much how it is done, and I'm filming this one day ahead of time, so hopefully I did everything all right, and hopefully it turned out good, and there weren't a lot of bubbles in the wall contact paper. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video again, and remember to like it if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more, and leave any requests that you might have down below, and I will see you guys later. Bye!